Chief hati adi Yuhan, Dakunyagi yagi, Kin Tanach Kayani Desiya, Dehiawahi. Gonna teach. Thanks for coming, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 2nd. And since we started a new month, I'll show you in Lingit Class where you can find the month names. So if you go to Lingit Class on page 19 or 19 and 20, there's a pretty cool description of month names and an explanation of the difference between how the lunar and solar calendars line up. But anyway, if you go to March, you can see a name that you could use, Hin Tanakh Kayani Disi. So everybody go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat this one after me. Hin Tanakh Kayani Disi.
In Tanakh Kayani Disi.
One more time. Hin Tanakh Kayani Disi.
In Tanakh Kayani Disi.
Month of underwater plant budding. So anyway, we'll do a discussion today about phrases. We covered all the phrases from the first chapter of Lingit Class. We want to make space for you to ask questions, talk about things you've learned, ideas you have. And after that, we'll begin a short dialogue exercise using only phrases in the book of Lingit Class. So we'll start real simple with it. And then it is Thursday, so we'll do breakout rooms. And we want you to practice the self introduction, since if you don't use it over time, you start to forget it. We're going to revisit it today. And as far as our discussion goes, do you have any questions or comments about any of the phrases we've discussed so far in Lingit Class or any other content from class?
What I'd like to hear is you must have heard some of these phrases or used some of them yourself, and you might tell us about how the phrase was used. Or maybe you can tell us about some that you never heard of before.
So just to put a reminder on the screen for folks, go ahead and unmute your mics or use the raise hand function to speak up. And then in the meantime,
counsel for the defendants, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
we know we covered so far.
1953, King, Santo, Perkins, Margaret Gray, brutally murdered Mrs. Mabel Monahan, a crippled widow, 61 years of age. You will see why they needed a woman to gain admittance to the Monahan home. We will show you how they searched every nook and cranny of her house, looking for a
Comments in class.
Conclusion of his opening statement, District Attorney Milton cries, "We mean business." You, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have sworn you have no scruples about the death penalty, even though one of the defendants be a woman. So now I say to you, invoke the extreme penalty. Let justice be done. Very well. You arrived in front of the Monahan house. It's dark. Santo tells Barbara Graham, you go ahead in. You see Mrs. Graham enter the house. Then what happened?
Any questions or comments? I can start taking you through a dialogue activity.
When you went in,
I think I remember a phrase, Ishan Dagan. Is that, and then I understood it to be a combination of Tlingit and Haida. Is that correct? Or does Dagan mean something in Tlingit?
That's a good question. Can you say the phrase again for me, please?
Well, I'm saying it just the way I remember hearing it, but that doesn't mean that I'm saying it the way it was said. Ishan Dagan.
Okay. We can ask Shaksani Keek when she comes back. I'll kind of do a little quick search in the dictionary to start with.
And I thought it meant poor thing, darling.
Oh.
So it was said in a sympathetic or empathic way, empathetic way.
Okay.
That's my recollection, but
Yeah, that is, from what I understand, Shishan is a Tlingit word, and Daguan is
oh,
a Haida word.
Daguan.
They
Ah,
call it my sweetheart, my darling, or something like that.
yes. Goodest cheese.
Okay, very cool.
So I almost got it. Could you say it, or would you be able to? Was that you,
Well,
George?
yeah, I think they say Daguan.
Daguan. Okay.
They also say, how are you doing, Daguan? My uncle was Husker Nick.
Ah,
That's very cool. Ishan.
goodest cheese.
Um, yeah, that's super fun.
It sounded as though there was a W in there. Is that correct, George?
Yeah, that's how I remember hearing it.
Okay. Do you know how to spell it in Haida?
I'm not really familiar with that language, but I'm sure it's probably very similar to the way it sounds. Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe a Degwan, Degwan. I'm guessing. I'm not really positive.
Okay.
Okay, very cool. Shaksani Kaktu just shared with us a phrase she used to hear called Ishan Degwan, and Kadekaidukuk contributed that we think maybe Ishan is Tlingit and then Degwan is Haida for darling.
Sounds
Or
like
sweetheart.
it sounds like Simshan.
Oh, then maybe there was one. Thank you.
I don't know Simshan, but it just kind of comes across as sounding like a Simshan.
Would there be one similar in Haida, since George said that was a Haida word too?
I'm not as familiar with Haida as I am with Simshan sounds.
Goodness cheese.
Yeah, so I know the Simshan ladies used to come to Mount Edgecombe to visit their students a lot. And when I used to hear them talking, it sounded so musical to me. I used to follow them around so I could hear them talking because it was so beautiful.
I love that. Goodness cheese.
That's fun. Thanks to you for sharing, Johan.
Yeah. I think Shke was a really common one when I was growing up. Trying to do something by yourself and you can't figure it out, and your mother steps in and takes a look. Shke means let me see or let me check.
Oh, that's cool.
It could mean let me think about it too.
Okay. Shke. Shke.
I always heard it as ske,
Oh, shke.
ske.
Shke. Okay. Shke. Shawak Kedan, you have your hand raised?
Yes. Could you tell me how to say ball or balloon?
Uh,
I always heard cucheta. Is that right?
Cheetah,
Check.
cheetah.
Cuchita, maybe something like that. Yeah,
Cheetah.
gonna cheese.
Cheetah could apply to anything like basketball, volleyball, any of those.
Kagan is very obsessed with balloons and balls right now. So I wanted to be able to say what they are.
Yeah, because I think it applies to something you throw with your hands or use your hands with.
Okay.
Cheat would kind of tell me that you had to use your hands for it.
Oh,
So I don't think it would apply to baseball or something like that.
okay. Okay. Cheetah. Good question. Any more questions or comments from the phrases we've been covering or thinking about, or any other that are on your mind?
Was there any that you never ever heard of before? Up to now, so I want to see how good we've been doing.
Hmm.
I didn't know we had a word for amazing.
The kudzi,
Oh, Chikuti.
yeah, I used to hear that. Amazing. That's a kind of a neat word.
Hmm. There's a comment in the chat that Chikuti. They also see it spelled Chikuti, so a long high E at the end. Shaksanikik, do you recommend a spelling for it? It's in the Lingit Class as being a short high I.
Um, I always I heard it both ways. I think it's just what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Chikutji is like amazing. Chikutji is like, isn't it interesting or isn't it amazing?
Oh. Okay, so Shikudzicha would be like, isn't that amazing?
Isn't it amazing
Amazing. Okay.
what they did? What happened?
Oh, goodness, geez. What other questions did folks have or comments about phrases? Because we talked a lot about them last week, but we wanted to make space for you to kind of explore and ask questions.
Yeah, when I had a classroom, I
Uh-huh.
used to have a box that I marked as K. And inside the box, you can reach in and pull out a card. and it's something that you can do or tell about. So that was my skate box, and I can't remember how I used it. Like it wasn't punishment; it was like something of interest.
Hmm.
So
What kind of stuff? Can I ask what kind of stuff you had in the box?
what was it? I couldn't hear it.
What kind of things did you have in your skate box?
Oh, I had some phrases that we studied, or sometimes it was to fill in the blank kind of stuff, like and they can choose, to fill in and tell us by reading and Lingit what it says on the card.
Okay.
It wasn't a test. It was just like let me try kind of thing.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mm.
It's a good class activity. Kak, you had your hand up?
Yes. One word that became a phrase. I remember growing up in Craig, and if an unwanted dog came up to us, we'd say, chook, 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 chook. So it wasn't just one chook, it was like a phrase saying several chooks all together for the dog to go away.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of cute for them. It could apply to small children or to animals, usually to animals. My mom was so positive that they can understand Lingit. She would talk to the dogs and cats in Lingit.
Huh.
They understood too.
Hmm. Shawat Kadan.
Um, well, I remember my mom saying "e" all the time, and I just thought that was a noise that she made. So it's really nice to know that's actually our word for "you" because it makes so much more sense now. Because like, why do you make that noise?
Yeah. Now you need to think back as to when she said that.
Yeah, I heard her say that to Kagan the other day when he was playing in something gross, and it just brought back all these memories.
I love
And I also think that the animals understand Tlingit, so that when I first started learning little words in Tlingit, like I started off learning animal names. So I would say like Wasaieti, Yi, or Kate, or whatever, whoever I was talking to.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Yig.
Hey, goodness cheese. Um, yeah, I remember growing up, always heard, my grandma always said juk, but I also heard a lot of elders saying chuck with ch, and I always wondered which one was the right way to say it. I thought it was pretty refreshing to find out that they're both right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
like chook. Some people say juk, and I heard both when I was growing up. So, yeah, it works. And I was kind of surprised when they gave the example of usk. And I thought uski was something that we made up as kids. Uski.
Mm. That's fun. You used to say that as children. Uske.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a phrase that kids made up.
Uh-huh.
And it was in.
Well, it ended up in the phrase book. We get to use it. When you were kids, would you say uske for like a puppy or a kitten?
Yeah, anything that was a little. Um,
Mm.
I remember. I think it was in Cracker Jack. They used to put small gifts in there, real gifts, not paper gifts like they do now.
Yeah.
There was this little parasol that actually worked. It was made of paper. It was the cutest little whiskey little thing.
Uh-huh.
And I had one I kept for a long time. I used to really protect it.
Mm.
And it had it. Cracker Jack used to have things in there. They had tiny, tiny little scissors that actually moved. I don't think it cut, but you could open and close it. So it was so adorable.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now
we're
it's hard to even get Cracker Jack to begin with.
yeah, I haven't seen them on the shelf in a long time. When we were little, you could get like temporary tattoos. And
Oh yeah, mostly they have now stickers. So I don't even open them. I just eat it. No.
these new gifts aren't worth my
Oh, did I eat the toy?
Ate my tattoo. Oh, that's cool. Did anyone else have
There's a lot of
comments or
phrases.
questions? I appreciate hearing.
There's a lot of phrases
Yeah.
we used to hear. Hue is a lot of them. There's one that was really common. Hue.
Okay. I still hear ladies saying that in Yakutat. Okay.
Yeah.
Ha eh, ha eh,
Yeah.
and ja, ja.
My big sister used to say that to me. I'm trying to do something and I show her. She goes, ha, eh.
uh,
Anytime you try to show off, that's what happens.
uh,
Paul Marx really knows how to use that.
uh.
Timing was always good.
I remember you mentioned that they would say for the ribbon, the button robe, to say if you could put so many on and anything after that would be blah.
Ha, eh. or hatla. Yeah, show off.
Show off, yeah. And then ja. When do you use this term? Ja. That sounds kind of like frustrated. That's fun.
I can't get my cursor to, it's moving all around. I always heard it for like when people are being too loud or unruly, you might quiet them with ja.
Yeah, that's one I haven't heard in a long time. Ja de. It's another one.
Ja de.
Anytime your mom adds de to anything, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You better sit down if you're standing up, or stand up when you're sitting down, or do whatever it is you quit doing it.
I love that description.
Uh, the day is more common, like gook day. Gook means hurry up. Yeah, they had one family was telling us that the grandma was going to go somewhere, and the little boy was going to go, and she was standing at the door already, and he was trying to get ready. She kept saying gook, gook, and finally she said gook day, and he said, Grandma, I am gookin day.
So cute. I am cooking day.
Yeah. I am gookin day. He made up a new word.
Oh. I am cooking day.
That's very, very cute. I love that too.
Yeah.
I love all the babies when they grow up around the language, the way they incorporate it even into English to become Singlish. For the longest time, all my kids had the sh for their T sounds. And there was something about Gooking too that I remember that trying to add the INGs, they would do that to a lot of verbs, which was fun. And my husband's probably favorite story is our middle child who loves traditional foods was eating fish eyes, and she's like maybe 2, and she turns to her daddy and says, Gusu, another one walk. Where is another eyeball? Gusu, another one walk.
Cute.
Instead of tuk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to do that too. And I had to laugh when the old people did that too. That was a more convenient sounding word, like chance of tuituati. Someone gave me a chance to speak. Chance of tuituati.
Chansach Jiku Tuati.
Someone gave me a chance to speak. So I had to. I sat up in surprise when I was listening to that. Okay, the next speaker will be, came up with that phrase. So, yeah, my sister-in-law used to say, Kunahawe shakli pretty.
I think I still hear Sagut say that down here. Jessica Chester and TCLL, she says, "Ooh, how shakle pretty."
Yeah.
Shakla pretty.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally
It's
does.
together, yeah.
Shakla pretty. Somebody wrote in the chat that their grandparents used to call him Tuk Chun.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen The Magnificent Seven yet, Martin Sensmeyer sneaks in a Tlingit line that includes Tukchun.
Quisitine. Pretty funny.
We had a speaker in Juneau, Siolansky. He was teaching how to teach languages. He didn't know how to teach Tlingit, but he was giving advice to the teachers. And he said, one of the fun things you can do is to cut the words in half and have the students put it together. And he was talking about clothes. When he got to the word tokatar, he cut it right where he shouldn't have. And the students just really started giggling. And he couldn't figure out why they were laughing at him. Because the tokatar, he cut it right after the tok. And so one of the students had to step up and kind of whisper to him, don't do that. But we all had a good laugh after that.
Don't do that. Because he cut the word right after took. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Don't do that. That's stupid.
That stuff is so good. We buy those sticks of smoked salmon from Costco. They're such a really wonderful snack.
Oh, I didn't know they sell those at Costco.
Yeah. It's over in the area by where they sell all the cheese bags. I kind of remember as a kid, we used to take dried fish, dried salmon, cut it into strips, and then cut each strip, not all the way through, but just bite size, and put it in our pockets and keep it for snacks during the day. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
I'll have to head over there. Well, I better watch the time. This is a fun discussion, but we gotta do our breakout rooms. So, are there any more questions on phrases before we head to our review?
Those were really fun comments, you guys. That was good.
Yeah, gonna teach you, hon. So just to give everybody a little bit of a peek at what we're going to be doing tomorrow, we might have a guest speaker, but they're also very busy. So if they aren't able to come, we have a fun activity lined up for you. And on Tuesday, we asked you to look through Lingit Class for 2 to 3 phrases you might want to use. And you didn't need to do anything with them yet, but just sort of pick out a couple that you think you might want to use in a dialogue activity. So now I'm going to show you what we'll plan to do for that.
Can I tell them?
Oh.
Let me see. When I was about 4 years old, I think, I used to read the newspaper, which is not, I wasn't really reading, but I used to look at the cartoons, comics. And finally, my dad got curious and he said, bring that paper over to me. And I took it over. And he said, can you tell me, can you read it for me? Because I don't have my glasses. So I said, okay. So I started reading and I was telling him the things that the comic characters were saying, but it was all in Tlingit. And he just cracked up and was laughing so hard. And of course, if I make my dad laugh, then I just can't stop. I just kept going. So he used to have me do it every now and then just for the fun of it. So when I saw the comics or I had my husband read it, I thought of it. Maybe it would be kind of fun for you to try it, to put Tlingit discussions to the comic strips that we have.
Okay. So Shirley and Alan took photos of some of the comics and I put them up on the screen here for folks. And what we'll do probably for tomorrow is I'll delete the text from the conversation bubbles and we'll start to put our own Tlingit phrases in there from Tlingit Kainachsa. So this is a super fun idea Shaksani Kik had, and we'll put it together for you probably for tomorrow. And let me see if I can let me do something really quick here. So there's a couple different examples of comics, and these are what they look like. But yeah, this will be fun. And then in the meantime, what we could do is I'll show you where you can start to copy and paste. So for folks who need the link to Tlingit Kainachsa, I'll put it in the chat so that you have your resource. And then I'm also going to put a link in the chat to this document I made for us to start piecing together our dialogues. And it's just a very simple template. So I'm putting the link in the chat and then I'll show you how you can edit it. So once you open up that link, this one is only viewable by you, but to make an editable version for yourself, you go into File and then make a copy. Which you can see here, I have my cursor over make a copy, and you just make a copy of it, and then now you have your own version that only you can edit, so you won't see everybody else's, but you'll be able to edit it freely.
And save it.
And save it, yeah, exactly. So keep track of where it is, save it on your computer. These are Google documents, so they do automatically save as you're typing, which is nice.
Yeah, the addition of words that you put in there has to be all in Tlingit.
Yeah, okay, okay. So if you want to use this template, I put a slot for person A, person B, person A. You can change those if you want. Like if one person says 2 lines in a row, just have fun with it. And so, for example, if I wanted to do this, I might be looking through the phrases we covered, and I would take a line. Maybe I would start with a greeting from the top, and I'm just gonna pick one. So, how are you? Wasa iati? Maybe I will start there, copy it, put it in my phrase book. Wasa iati. If you're copying and pasting, you have to check your tones because you're copying from a PDF. It doesn't always carry over. So just double check. Oh yeah, wa is high tone, sa is high tone. Wasa iati. If you want, you can put for this template. We just want only Lingit. If you were gonna put the English translation, you would put that under the English column. But this part would just be for the for this document. And then, like Shaksani Keek said, when we put it in the comics, we're just going to be putting the Lingit.
Everybody's going to be talking and things. But you can go ahead and use some of those funny phrases that was partly English and partly Lingit. Just have fun with it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we had some funny phrases here.
We have a strip. Did we have a strip with a dog in it?
I think so. Let me see. Let me check. So I have them up on the screen. I see the couple, grandpa and his grandson, grandpa and his wife, a man in the grocery store, a couple watching the news. Oh yeah, there's one with the dog and its person.
That would be a one that they could try to talking to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun.
I don't know. We thought about using only 3 of these because that's all we want you to do is 3. But we were going to pick the 3, but unless you feel different after seeing the kinds that we have already.
Yeah. And if folks do want to add more lines, all you have to do is go to your last cell in the lower right, like I have, and push the tab key, and it'll make more lines for you. So you do have that option. Any questions on these? We'll probably be working on them tomorrow.
If we don't have a speaker.
Yeah. If not,
You already promised us twice.
yeah.
Send a message to say you only get excused once.
Yeah.
We're a tough class.
We're tough.
Yeah.
The aunties don't mess around. And so we're gonna do breakout rooms, probably just short ones today. And so I'll demonstrate the self introduction and how to pronounce it, and then I'll set you free. So mine, I'll read it for my introduction. Lingit Class Einach Anna Yuchat Duasa. Honanach Einach Nila Torah Yuchat Duasa. Ingenen Kwan Chatsiti. Honana Yedi Ayechat. Gashta Kwan Ayechat. Anchich Yechat Yeti. Oops, gonna cheese. Ha ha. Hi, my name is Anna in English, and in Athabascan I'm called Nila Tova. I am English American on my mother's side and Khoikhon Athabascan on my father's side. My family is originally from Caltech, I live in Anchorage, and thank you. So that's one way you could do your self introduction. Again, the blue lines are just optional. If you know your grandparents' clan and your outer shell and your clan house, then you can include these, and they're not required.
Yeah, the when we had introductions to the speakers, I noticed that you did several different ways. And I just wanted you to know that when I designed the way we do it in class, it's I specifically had in mind introducing certain X's that I wanted you to learn how to say. So that's why we're using that design, even though you're not used to it. I do want to hear your if you're accomplished enough to do it that way, because it's I know it's more difficult than what you're used to. Oh, geez.
Oh, goodness, geez. Yeah, all the different X's you can see are here. We have an underline pinched X, we have an underline X, a pinched regular X. So do students have any questions on the self-introduction before we set you free?
Okay, I hit up my home resource.
Okay.
Um, he's saying it's either mother's father or father's father for Dutch Gen.
Okay.
Dakanuku, which is mother's father clan.
Okay. Mother's father is Dakanuku, and
Dutch Gen is either your mother's father or your father's father. For example, for Hune, he's Dakluedi Dutch Gen.
okay. Okay, goodness, geez. Okay, yeah, Johan. How were the breakout rooms? Oh, Shakhsani Kik, you're muted. Is Alan able to unmute you? Any comments or questions from students on the breakout rooms?
Thank you.
Please.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say that in the breakout room, they made a lot of discoveries by doing the introduction, and that's exactly what the reason for the introductions, because then you begin to find out, hey, I know your family, or hey, we're related. Those kind of things happen. So that was really good, a real good discussion. Some discoveries that were made.
Okay. That's awesome. In our breakout room, we had a discussion about the terms for Dutch Gen and Dakanuku. And we remembered that Dutch Gen, it could be your mother's father's clan or your father's clan. Dakanuku could be what, Mariah?
Oh gosh, hold on. mother's father's clan.
Okay, mother's
father's clan.
Okay. Goodness geez, Johan, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. If our guest speaker isn't able to make it, then we'll go through with our fun activity we created for the comments and dialogues. And Shirley, did you have anything else you want to add?
No, it's just that it could be a starting point for you to get our help with the project that we have assigned to you if the speaker doesn't show. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna teach you, Han. We'll see you again here tomorrow, same time, same place. To the Khosatin.
Goodness, geez.
Good night, Tish. See you at
Good night,
Quasity.
Tish.